We often express our disappointment in relationships, whether it's a friendship, marriage, work, or family. We blame the other person behind our desk for their actions that caused my disappointment, for expectation we built for them, expectations they didn't necessarily promise. Hi everyone, my name is May. I'm your host and welcome back to Behind the Desk with a Human. Today's episode talks about expectations and standards in relationships. Here's a question I never really asked before, and maybe you haven't either. Whose fault is it when we feel disappointed by someone in a relationship? My whole life I blamed the other person for disappointing me until one day I got mad at myself for the disappointments I was facing in marriages, friendship, relationships. Then I hear this saying, when you meet an a-hole in the morning, well, you met an a-hole. But if you meet an a-hole all day, then you are the a-hole. And for a couple of years, I honestly believed I was the a-hole. But that wasn't true. No one was ever the a-hole in here, or I would say in most of relationships. It was all misunderstanding and confusion between two terms, expectations and standards. And a big part of it was also the fact that uncommunicated expectations lead to disputes and resentments. Then I realized I never actually communicated my expectations to them. I just assumed it was a common sense, even though it is not. We cannot assume that everyone has the common sense, or even if they have the common sense, we cannot just assume people will read our minds the same way we cannot read their minds, and it's not fair. It's not a fair game. What we expect from others, how they act, that is on us. Even if you say, even if you think that, oh yeah, but I already told them what I expect, that doesn't guarantee they will meet those standards. That's when I begin to see there is a difference between expectations and standards. Someone once told me, we were talking, we were like, I still remember it was a Christmas party, a work Christmas party, and we were standing, group of us, and I told someone, well, expectations always lead to disappointment, so I stopped expecting things from people. And I remember this person told me it's okay to not have expectations as long as you have standards. And that really hit me. So, what is the difference between expectations and standards? An expectation, according to the dictionary, is a strong belief that something will happen or be the case in the future. So, in relationship, that means believing or assuming how another person should behave, often based on our own hopes, culture, or past experiences. On the other hand, standard is defined as a level of quality or um, attainment, regards as acceptable or desirable. So, in relationship, standards are the baseline principles and values we set for ourselves before we set to others, and for those we allow into our lives. Things like respect, honesty, good communication, kindness, family values, or even being an open minded, whatever your standards you should have, that is yours. You need to have those standards built for yourself, not for the other person. Those are my standards in the relationship, in a friendship, in work environment, in any family boundaries, as we spoke about in one of the episodes. So, in simple terms, expectations are what we think others should do for us, while standards are what we require and uphold for ourselves. So when we have standards, such as being well spoken, respectful, as we said, communicative, family oriented, open minded, these are traits we look for in relationships. Once we meet someone who matches our standards, expectations tend to fall in. Like when I say fallen and fallen in line, it fallen in track, it follows. The other benefit is when we meet someone who aligns with our standards, they are more likely to hold similar standards toward us. So there is no, I like this person, but I'm not sure they are my type. Because when you have those standards, I'm sure the other person will be holding the same in order to match. So just remember, some expectations, if they are not communicated clearly, will create resentment later on. If you wish your partner or friend or coworker or even your boss would help you with something, but they are not initiating it, or if you keep saying, "Oh, I'm fine," when you're not, and expecting them to read your mind, that is an expectation that will backfire on you. The same goes for lowering your standards just to meet someone else's. Things that I've seen in so many relationships, including me, including myself, and I'm seeing it with friends, with families, that it's okay. It's just a small little thing. It won't hurt. I will let it go. But when we let one standard go, the other standard will follow and the other standard will go too. And what is going to happen? The other person behind that desk, the other side of the desk, that person will uh, expect that we put down more things for them. And it's not going to be on them, it's going to be on us. And we just turn to be angry at them for something we taught them to do. So again, and like, do not let go of your standards just because it's okay, it's just a small thing. Because when life gets busy and that spark fades, you will start resenting them for it. But it won't be their fault. You lowered your standards. They didn't ask you to, they didn't force you. So make sure you set a line you cannot cross if you truly want the relationship to continue in a healthy way. So, again, I know that we spoke about this before that in one of the episodes, um, that we should have lines, we should have boundaries. We should have this clarity in communicating, in showing what we need, what we want, and is not a mind game. Is not about what you should be doing for me. Why you expecting me to do this for you? You didn't tell me. It's it's a huge part of the communication. And I admit I wasn't a good communicator in the past. I was just expecting things to happen. And how dare that person didn't read my mind? But it's not the case. So I know it's a short episode. There isn't really much to say, although there is a lot to say at the same time. But I hope this conversation made you think about where your disappointment really come from. Are they the result of unrealistic or unspoken expectation? Or are you maybe ignoring your own standards? It's a big question. At the end of the day, expectations can shift, but the standards are a foundation. Protect them, communicate them, and you will save yourself a lot of pain and resentment. And I hope to hear from you in a comment, in a message, um, or even tell me your story. Until I see you in the next episode of Behind the Desk with a Human.